I come from a tiny town in south central PA no one's heard of, called York Springs. It's about halfway between Gettysburg and Carlisle, where it takes 20 minutes to get to the closest anything in any direction. The main things we're known for are historic wars, car shows, and apples. Lots of apples. I grew up in a semi-religious family with my mother, father, and sister, Lindsay. I have a dog who's a little princess and a cat who thinks she owns the world. My extended family is pretty large on both sides, with my parents' step-parents and step-siblings. Over the years, we've had our share of adventures. My first time flying on a plane, I was in second grade, and my family visited Disney World. My mom also used to take us on little day trips to places in the area like Boyd's Bear and Gettysburg. I've been to New York a few times with friends, family, and with my Girl Scout troop. We used to go on all sorts of cool trips like Beach Jam in Wildwood, New Jersey, and visiting a cave up near Raystown Lake. Freshman year of high school, my entire family also came with me on a performance tour of Italy, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later. I love art, including sketching, painting 3D objects, and DIY projects. I could, and have, spent hours sitting still painting until the tiniest of details is just right. I was also an avid reader and writer when I was young. I don't have a lot of time for either now, but I do enjoy a good novel and writing poetry every now and then. Growing up in the woods in the middle of nowhere has its benefits. I can get to a state park within 10 minutes of my house, and the Appalachian Trail runs through the area. Being so close to nature gave me a love of camping, kayaking, swimming, hiking, biking, archery, and many more outdoorsy things. In fact, I love being outdoors so much that my first job I held was at a campground called Mountain Creek. I also really love volunteering. I earned my Silver Award in Girl Scouts in 8th grade for organizing a baby shower to collect donations for Tender Care Pregnancy Center, an organization I've been passionate about since elementary school. Junior year, I got to go on a mission trip to the Dominican Republic and meet so many wonderful children, both in the orphanage we visited and in the small flooded towns we went to. In high school, I was very involved. I played volleyball, planned events, went to dances, volunteered, and was a member of National Honor Society. Because of my involvement, I met a lot of people. I'm still really good friends with most of them, even though we're spread all over the country and the world right now. I have friends in Maine, New York, Las Vegas, Puerto Rico, and even Norway. I have always been really involved in music. I started playing the piano when I was 5 after my grandmother was killed in a car accident and my family inherited her piano. I joined band in 4th grade and played the saxophone because I wanted to be like my dad, who was a drum major in high school. 4th grade was also my first opportunity to join a choir. I stuck with it in middle school, but almost quit when I had a really mean choir teacher. My elementary music teacher, Mrs. Swartzball, was a big influence in my music career and encouraged me to stick with it. Looking back, I'm glad I did, because I might not have been a future music educator today if I had quit. After the first 2 years, our director retired, and we had Mrs. Johnston, the formerly retired high school choir director, come back and teach for a year. She selected me for county chorus and allowed me to accompany choir for the first time. I will always be grateful to her for being the first person in my life, other than my parents, to show faith in my music ability and make me feel like I could actually be good. Continuing in the theme of involvement, high school brought a whole host of opportunities I never could have imagined. I was still in band, still in choir, and still accompanied at least one piece per concert. Freshman year, my choir director, Mr. Carlson, gave me a chance to try my hand at acting, and I loved it. I was in musical all 4 years of high school, where I played Mrs. Mayer in Seussical, was in the ensemble for Cinderella, played as Aunt March in Little Women, and got lost as the baker's wife in Into the Woods. As I mentioned earlier, freshman year was also the year I got to go to Italy with my piano and voice teacher, Sharon Cooley. We visited a ton of musical sites and got to perform in Milan and Lucca. My band director, Dr. Boyce, taught me that lessons aren't always obvious, and a good teacher will try to sneak one in at every opportunity, even if a student doesn't realize they're learning. He also set an example of how a good teacher doesn't just care about the kids' musical abilities, but also about their well-beings. Mr. Carlson was a huge influence in my musical career. He taught me to look for the message and importance in each piece and how to bring it out musically. More importantly, he gave me opportunities to grow and learn music, like county choir festivals, Eagle Singers Advanced Choir, a few solos, and continued accompaniment. Senior year, he took us on our first choir trip in over a decade to Nashville, Tennessee, where we got to perform at the Country Music Hall of Fame and outside the Grand Ole Opry. At Mr. Carlson's urging, I also started taking lessons with Dr. Homiller at Gettysburg College. She was able to change my sound for the better from the very first time she worked with me. She served as my inspiration and an excellent example for what I wanted to be. After only a couple of months working with her, I decided I wanted to do what she did and teach at a college level. Mr. Carlson also encouraged me to join Gettysburg Chamber Chorale, a group run in conjunction with the Gettysburg Children's Choir by Dr. Talbot, the head of Gettysburg College's Music Education Department. Over the summer, he allowed me to intern for, accompany, and conduct the Children's Choir Summer Camp, an opportunity that gave me a little experience before college. I was exposed to new, challenging music and working with a group of people I didn't know at first. I had a great time performing at a variety of venues in the spirit of sharing music. Dr. Talbot also helped me through the process of applying to schools, auditioning, and figuring out what path to take. Senior year was full of wonderful experiences, but none was exciting as the day I committed to Susquehanna University. The minute I stepped on campus for Susquehanna Success Day in April, I made up my mind and knew I wanted to be here. Since coming to campus, I've made so many great friends inside and outside of the music department. I've had some really great experiences like living on my own, preparing for Opera Studio, and joining Sigma Alpha Iota. I know pretty soon things are going to change, but there's a lot more ahead of me, and I'm excited to discover where I end up.
Back to where I started.